Have you ever wondered how FICO actually calculates your credit score in the first place? If so, stick with me to the end of this video and I promise you I'll break down what FICO uses to calculate your credit score. Everyone's FICO score falls within the range of 300 to 850, with 300 on the lower side saying you have bad credit and 850 on the higher side saying, of course, you have excellent credit. First of all, what is credit? A simple definition of credit would be the ability to borrow money and pay it back in a timely fashion. And your credit score is the number that represents that ability. Now, with that being said, let me ask you a question. How many times have you lent money to a friend, quote unquote, and they didn't pay you back at all, or they just took a long time paying you back? And then one day down the line, they came back to you asking you for more money. How did you feel about that? I already know how you felt. You probably looked at them like, I can't believe you were asking me for more money after you didn't pay me back at all, or you took forever to pay me back the first time. They built a bad reputation for giving back money. So you're not going to feel good about giving them any more money. And that's how you don't want banks and lenders and other companies feeling about you. So you want to have the highest credit score possible. The average credit score hovers somewhere around the 680 mark, maybe a little more, maybe a little less. I'm gonna say between 680 and 700. That could be right. But you want to be better than that. You want to try to get your score as high as possible because at around 680, 670, you may run into some unforeseen circumstances that happens in life to all of us. And all of a sudden, your credit score will plummet to 640, 620, or the high 500s, 580, 590. You never know. It happens. But how do you raise your credit score? I tell you how to raise your credit score. Knowledge. Knowledge is key. Knowledge is power because when you know better, you do better. And you can start doing better right now by clicking the link in the description for a free report with 5 tips, amazing tips that you can use immediately to boost your credit score right now. So go check that out and get that. You'll be glad you did. Earlier in the video, I promised that I'd give you a breakdown of how FICO calculates the credit score. Well, here it is. The diagram you see here on your screen shows what your FICO score is composed of. It shows the 5 basic ingredients of the FICO recipe, and it's 35% payment history, 30% amounts owed, 10% new credit, 15% length of credit history, and 10% credit mix. Now let's talk about each one. Payment history accounts for 35% of your credit score. It tells the story of how well you've been paying your bills on time. Any creditor or lender or mortgage broker or whoever you're dealing with is going to want to know how well you've been paying back the bills and the loans and the credit card accounts that you have been dealing with up to that point. So you don't want to be late on anything because a late payment, just one late payment, can set your credit score back a lot of points. As you can see, it's 35% of your credit score. You want to strive to pay every bill on time. Each and every bill. I know it's hard. I know we're human and we're going to miss one here or maybe miss one there, but you don't want to do that. If you have the technology with any of your bills to put it on auto pay, I suggest you do it. Auto pay is a lifesaver. Okay? Put any bill, any and all your bills on auto pay just so you don't forget because you don't want to miss one payment. One payment can take your score down lots of points. Amounts owed, aka credit utilization, is how much you owe compared to how much credit you have available to use. Very important. Credit utilization. I've spoken about that on another one of my videos, and I'm going to talk about it again right now. You have $1,000 credit card. You spend $300. Now your credit balance is $300. That means you have a credit utilization percentage of 30%. You want to try to keep it between 0, which is completely paid off, and 10%. Don't carry over a balance of more than 300 on that card because your credit utilization will be more than 30%. So pay it off completely or as much as you can before the due date. Pay it on time. That's it. 15% is length of credit history, aka credit age. How long are the credit cards and other accounts on your credit report? FICO accounts for how long you've been able to maintain all the accounts that's listed on your credit report. Your main goal is to maintain all the accounts on your credit report and keep them in good standing. All the accounts you have, your credit cards, your personal loans, your car notes, whatever that's on your credit report, your job is to pay them off on time and just make sure they're well taken care of for as long as you've had them. Matter of fact, let me tell you a story. My first credit card I got, I ended up later on cutting it up. Young and dumb. Shouldn't have did that. That was my first credit card, and if I've been able to maintain that card from then all the way till now, that would be amazing. FICO would love that. I would have benefited from having a card from that long ago all the way up to now. But because I didn't know any better and I was being irresponsible with my credit anyway, I decided to cut it up thinking that would solve my problem. The credit card wasn't the problem. I was the problem because I didn't know what the hell I was doing with a credit card in the first place. I just charged up anything I saw, anything I wanted, I had to have it. And the credit card was my ticket to getting it. Okay? Sneakers, clothes, food, going out, you name it. I just ran everything up on that card. Everything. And eventually, I cut it up because I couldn't pay for it. And that was me and my lack of knowledge on how to maintain credit. And I paid for it. But later on in life, I educated myself, and now I'm trying to help out everybody else if they need it. All right, next up is new credit, which counts for 10% of your credit score. It's the newly applied loans, credit cards, mortgages, or whatever else you have in your credit report. The new credit cards and new accounts can affect your credit score in different ways. Like when you apply for a new credit card, the second you apply for that credit card, the credit card company is going to put a hard inquiry, on your credit report. All that means is they're officially looking at your credit report and your credit score to make a decision on whether they're going to approve or deny your credit application. That's all that is. And a hard inquiry will take off about anywhere between 2 to 5 points off your credit score. And also, getting a new card will bring down the average age of your credit and the length of your credit history, which we talked about just a little while ago. With all that being said, don't be discouraged about applying for new cards if you need to. Just make sure you don't apply for too many cards within such a short time span. Getting a new credit card can help your credit score tremendously by increasing the amount of credit you have available, which lowers your credit utilization. Remember, your credit utilization accounts for 30% of your credit score. We talked about that a little while ago. And getting a different type of account on your credit report can also help your credit mix, which we'll talk about right now. Your credit mix. Credit mix accounts for 10% of your credit score. It's the different types of accounts you have that make up your credit report. FICO and other creditors and lenders like to see that you can successfully handle different types of credit. Because for them, it just stands to reason that the better you can maintain different loans and lines of credit, the lower the risk is for them when it comes to them lending you money. That's why they check your credit report. They want to see if you're the type of person they can trust to pay them back when they lend you the money. You have two types of credit accounts. One is revolving accounts. Those are your credit cards, your store cards, gas cards, and the HELOCs, the home equity line of credit. And you have installment accounts, which are the personal loans, your car loans, mortgage loans, and even your student loans. So basically what I'm saying is, if your credit mix consists of a couple of credit cards, and you have a car, and you have a house, and everything's paid on time, then you're looking pretty good right now. You will have 3 different credit scores from 3 different credit bureaus: Equifax, TransUnion, and Experian. You may check your credit score sometimes and may notice that they may not all be the same. That's because the different lenders or credit card companies or banks that you deal with may not report information to all 3 credit bureaus. They may just report to 1 or just 2. So when you apply for that credit card company may just report to Equifax and not TransUnion and not Experian. Or you may have another credit card that may report to TransUnion and Experian and not Equifax. And something else, these different credit cards and banks and other lenders that you may deal with, they may not all report to the credit bureaus at the same time during the month. So at a certain time when you check your credit score, you may not have all the information in that credit bureau from the different lenders and banks that you deal with. So anytime during the month, you may see your credit score fluctuate. That's not really important. Plus, you can't control that anyway. So your main objective is to try and get your credit score to as high as you possibly can get it. You should shoot for the stars. Shoot for an 800 plus credit score. Click on a video that talks about if you want to get a perfect credit score, because it's going to give you some ideas on how to get one. So click on that now. And if your credit is not where you would like it to be right now, click on the other video and see if you're making some of the same mistakes that the video talks about. And after you click on either video, I'll see you there.